Some people are going to be jealous of your audacity, and they'll say things like, oh, that could never be me. And they're right. It could never be them, because that's not what God chose them for. We all have a certain path that we're supposed to go on for ourselves. And just because someone chooses a different path than you, or God set them on a different path than you, that doesn't mean that their path is wrong. If you're a person who's been trying to grow on social media and you've been trying to maybe become a content creator, or you're just posting online because it's something that you enjoy, you might hear different things from people who aren't necessarily online asking you like, why are you doing that? But just because they don't understand your mission, and they don't understand your dream, and they don't understand the goal that God has for you, and the mission that God has for you, and the purpose that God has for your life, that doesn't mean that you quit. Oftentimes, people will get jealous of the audacity that you have. They'll be jealous of the boldness that you have, but you can't allow that to stop you. And when I realized that, and I stopped internalizing everybody else's fear, and I stopped internalizing everybody else's overthinking, I was able to get out of my own way once I removed all the other people who were talking and had anything to say about what it was that I was trying to do, because I know that God has a purpose for my life. I don't know what the end goal looks like. I don't know what's going to happen at the end, but I know that every time that I try to stop, something in me is like, you have to keep going. There is purpose in this. You are reaching people. You are helping people. And just because some people around you don't get it, that doesn't mean that you shy away and give up. Just because they might have something negative to say, or they might say something that makes you feel like, imposter syndrome. You might see somebody else trying to do exactly what it is that you're trying to do, and you get in your own head about how you're supposed to do this and when you're supposed to do this. Don't worry about none of that. Just do it. Just show up in whatever capacity that is, whether that's doing work in your community, whether that's doing work in your family, or that's doing work online. In whatever capacity that God is calling you to do the work, just show up and do it. Don't worry about the when. Don't worry about the how. Don't think about the what ifs. And it's not easy, especially like for somebody like me. I'm always concerned about how am I going to do this? Well, what if this happens? Or how am I going to? But I remember when I decided to leave Arizona and drive 35 hours across the country to North Carolina, and I stopped in Texas. And when I went in the gas station to get gas, I looked and I seen that there was a storm brewing in the sky. And so I went and I asked the guy at the gas station, do you know what direction that storm is coming? He said that storm is behind you. Now here I am, terrified, because I literally just left a safe and comfortable home to go to a city and state where I've never been, where I don't know anybody, because I felt like God told me that this is where I was supposed to go. And so when I asked that man, do you know which way the storm is going? He said the storm is behind you. That was confirmation for me to keep going. I don't know what's ahead of me. I don't know what I'm about to get myself into, but I have to keep going. And once I got here, my life completely changed. In the midst of that, I had to deal with homelessness. I was on food stamps. I was trying to figure out my life. I could have went home. I could have went anywhere, but I didn't. I knew that this is what I needed to do. When my friends will argue with me and my family's like, just come home, I'm like, no, I have to do this. I don't know why I have to do this, but I have to do it. Just keep pushing. Just keep fighting. Even if it don't make no sense to you and it don't make sense to anybody else around you, just keep pushing. Ignore all the naysayers, ignore all the negative voices, ignore all the negative commentary, ignore the people who don't get it, ignore the people who have been watching you along the journey and they're like, oh, she don't know what she talking about. Oh, he don't know what he's doing. You might not in this moment. You might not know what you're doing, but you're getting there and you're working towards a bigger goal and a bigger purpose. And oftentimes other people, the people around you, they might let that fear stop them. They might have a dream or a goal that's burning inside of them that they never put life into, that they never breathed life into, that they never put any energy or fire into. And to watch you go after your dreams, it might be burning them up. It might be pissing them off, but you got to keep going because that's not on you. That has nothing to do with you. You keep working towards your purpose. And then what you'll realize will happen is that people will go from jealous to inspired sometimes. Okay, hopefully. They'll go from jealous to inspired. Like, oh, they really made it happen. Maybe I can do the same thing. I was the first person in my family to have the audacity to leave my hometown against what everybody was saying. All my friends and family were telling me, no, what you talking about, you leaving and you driving across the country? Yes, I am. I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. I don't got no job lined up. I don't know nothing, but I know I just got to go. I got to experience my life. And when you're doing things that are outside of the norm of what other people are doing and how they've always seen it done, they're going to have questions. They're going to have doubts. But once they see that you were able to do it and you were able to make it, now they got questions. Well, how did you do that? And be open and willing to help the people. Don't, be closed off like, oh no, you was talking about me when, because they're talking oftentimes from a limiting mindset, from a scarcity mindset. And that's something that I've had to overcome myself. Oftentimes when people have that mindset or spirit of lack, they can't see bigger. They can't see all of the abundance of the world. They can't see all of the abundance that we can have in our lives because it hasn't been something that's been right in front of them, something that they've allowed themselves to see. It may not have been anything that was introduced to them. And so it's abnormal. And people question things that are abnormal or uncomfortable. People question things that are risky, rightfully so. So when people do see you doing all the things that you dreamed about doing and they come to you with questions, just answer them. Now, unless they was being rude, then I don't know about that. But don't allow people to project their fears onto you, and don't allow people to project their ideas of scarcity onto you. If you are a person who happens to live in a delusional world, keep on living in that delusional world until you get to where it is that you want to be. Until you get to where it is that God is trying to place you, trying to move you to. Sometimes you got to have that delusional faith. And most recently, it's been hard for me to remember that. But I'm like, I got to get back to the girl who was 26, driving across the country by herself with a car full of miscellaneous things, just trying to figure things out. We gotta have that faith and we gotta have that audacity to be different and to chase our dreams. There was a period of time where I was more willing to be more risky. Like when you have children, you definitely gotta be more aware of the risks that you take. When you have people depending on you, you have to be aware of the risks that you take. But if you don't take risks at all, you'll never know what you can really accomplish. You'll never know what's really on the other side of that fear that you have. Don't be afraid to take chances. Take chances on you for your life because you only got one. Don't allow what other people want for you in your life to stop you. And I know when you're younger, that's hard to do. I didn't actually get to start making decisions for the path of my life until after I graduated college. It was like, okay, you're going to college. All right, I'll go to college. I'll finish college. And then after I'm done with that, I'm doing what I want to do now. So if that's your situation, just do what you got to do and then live your life for you. I feel like a big part of self-love and a big part of your healing journey and your life journey and your self-love journey is doing things that you want to do for you. You will never figure out who it is that you are in this life and who you're supposed to be if you don't take chances to figure that out. If you don't take opportunities to dig deep and explore and try new things and meet new people and go to different places. Don't allow yourself to get stagnant. When you allow yourself to get stagnant, that's when you get stuck, and you'll get stuck in your environment. You'll get stuck in those relationships. You'll get stuck in that friendship. You'll get stuck at that job, and you'll never become that person that you see yourself as. So keep on fighting and keep on pushing to get to that life that you know that you deserve. I hope that this video reached its target audience. I hope that you have a wonderful week. If you are not yet, subscribe to the channel and a part of the community where I'm giving y'all weekly motivational tips over here on this channel and then diving deeper into some different topics and stories over on the podcast. Please be sure to subscribe and check out the description box below for some other goodies, okay? And as always, be bold, be joyful, and always be fully loving yourself.